I understand Matt Reeves's intention when it comes to not wanting to cross over the Batman into the DCU, or more specifically, like wanting what he wants for his universe and how inherently that conflicts with the goal of the DCU.
And if they decide, like, we really want Rob to be our DCU Batman,
I don't know. Well, we'll have to see where that
okay,
goes.
fair enough.
So he never outright denies it. So what? I already made the video. I do think there's a case to be made that you could have the best of both worlds, because think about it in the format of like comics, you know? The river in Gotham is being poisoned. How is Superman not coming in to help or something like that, you know? Like you might think about that once in a while, but then you just are kind of like, well, you know, it's Batman's story. Like, you know, you have that metatextual disconnect. So I think that you could have a scenario like that with Matt Reeves' Batman and also the DCU. You could have Robert Pattinson Batman appear in the DCU, and then you could have him go back to his own world, and you'd never have to acknowledge anything that ever happened in the DCU. Because you gotta remember, like, Gotham and everything within it, all the characters, villains, heroes, rogues gallery, like everything, it's created such an iconic, distinct world that's unlike any other New York, San Francisco, even like Metropolis, Star City, like in any other comic thing ever between DC and Marvel, just to be safe. I'll say that. And even then, you could just have it be so that the Batman is canon to the DCU, but then the DCU is not canon to the Batman. That's a little more complicated. That's a little more of a roundabout way of doing it, but because you have the most Batman, and then you have the most Superman, and I just want to see them together because I could absolutely see Robert Pattinson Batman being the straight man to David Cornsweet's Superman. And it would just be so charming. It would be so cool. It would be so... I do think that we shouldn't look at it from the perspective of limiting the creative possibilities, because I do like the direction that Matt Reeves' universe is going in, but that doesn't mean that we have to, you know, uproot it in order to appease to this cinematic universe dynamic, you know? And it's also just easier from like a metatextual publicity perspective, because it's already confusing enough sometimes with like what's DCU, what's DCEU, you know, with the reboot of the universe and all. And then at the same time, it's like now you're gonna have the Batman and like Brave and the Bold Batman running about. Like it might be overwhelming to some people. Then again, if they're not really interested enough to like comprehend the concept of a multiverse or canon or whatever, then they're probably not the type to care that much, you know, if that makes sense. And I also think it would just be satisfying to not restart Batman again. I would really love to see Robert Pattinson Batman evolve as much as possible, like go from this sort of gritty noir grounded Batman to being exposed to this more fantastical DCU universe and evolving into more of a brave and a bold Batman, or he learns to appreciate family. He learns what friendship is, like things like that, you know. But hey, if Drew Goddard is gonna be the one writing Brave and the Bold, they could do whatever the hell they want.